In a move to manage potential waterborne disease outbreaks, water playgrounds and spa pools will have to be licensed from the middle of next year. It's part of changes passed in Parliament today as Singapore safeguards public health and hygiene beyond COVID-19. Currently, only swimming pools are licensed, but with an increasing number of aquatic facilities in Singapore, the new requirement means that they will have to meet chemical and bacterial limits as well. As serious waterborne diseases can also arise from contaminated aerosols, systems such as cooling towers and decorative water fountains will have to be registered so that authorities can trace them in case of an outbreak. Meanwhile, areas with high footfall, as well as those with vulnerable occupants like the elderly and children, will have to develop and roll out a sanitation program from next year. And this will spell out daily cleaning schedules for areas including toilets and lifts, thorough cleaning every 6 months, and a plan for pest management. To support this, the National Environment Agency is developing a training course in environmental control, which is expected to be ready early next year. It expects to train about 3,800 from the first quarter of next year.
For the past 8 months, we have been battling the COVID-19 pandemic, a public health crisis unprecedented in scale and impact. Among the many lessons learned, an important one is the need for high standards of sanitation and hygiene. COVID-19 will not be the last global pandemic that we have to face. We must shore up our public health defenses and be ready to contain emerging outbreaks when they come.
A grading system for public toilets that could result in more tax rebates or license renewal for operators and nurturing a greater sense of ownership and civic mindedness among Singaporeans. MPs raised some of these suggestions in Parliament today to improve public hygiene and health during the debate on the Environmental Public Health Act. The debate drew considerable interest, with 12 MPs sharing their views.
A grading system will help increase hygiene standards in public toilets. These standards have fallen in recent years. According to an SMU survey aptly named Waterloo, over 25% of the 6,000 respondents said they would not use toilets in the coffee shops and hawker centres. Our GPC's own public consultation received many comments about bad experiences at such toilets.
New environmental sanitisation programs cannot work without well-trained workers. They must also be paid fairly so that we can attract more workers to join the industry. Businesses must adopt outcome-based procurement practices, and government give recognition to companies that work towards increased productivity with the adoption of technology.
We need to encourage civic mindedness in youth by exposing them to more community-based programs and weaving the themes of community building into our schools. We need to make students responsible for the cleanliness of their schools, and we need to encourage people to recycle. And the state should seek to improve recycling facilities in residential areas.